Today I'm here to tell you a little bit about me. Something that I have struggled with, something that I have learned about myself a lot over the last 5 to 10 years or so. This is my coming out story. While I've come to terms with myself many years ago, when I was younger, I strongly and firmly remember me listening to a band called Dream Street. Now, many of you may have heard them, you may have not. They were kind of a smaller Backstreet Boys NSYNC type band. And I remember having a CD with them. It had all 5 of them. I remember sitting there listening to their CD and just looking at them and going, this one's really cute. At the same time, I didn't really understand. Was that normal? None of my friends have ever said that. None of my other guy friends have ever said, oh, he's cute or he's handsome. And whenever you went to a family gathering or a friend's house or whatever, it was, do you have any girlfriends yet? They never said, do you have any boyfriends? So I never really understood it 100%. Elementary school was fairly easy for me. I just kept to myself. I had a couple friends, and most of the people in my class were very sports oriented. I was good at sports, but I never really wanted to partake in them just because I felt uncomfortable with myself at the time. I knew that something was different about me, but I wasn't entirely sure what it was yet. I found that boys were attractive and girls were pretty, but I would rather kiss a boy than a girl. And me being on a sports team with a bunch of boys would have made me uncomfortable because they would have assumed things I wasn't even comfortable with yet, or I didn't even know about it. So I just kind of kept away from sports. While I went to sporting events, I supported my classmates. I had friends who were in sports. I always supported them, but I just never could push myself to get into sports. I actually did play a few sports, but that's because I was kind of forced to. It was more so in the summer, like a summer rec type program. My mom had signed me up for like flag football type thing, and it was with kids who were older than me. And some of them I remember were very mean. There's a few that I remember distinctly. I just stayed away from them. I didn't want to get involved with that group because these kids got so big-headed. A lot of my friends that were in sports did not get big-headed, but a few of them did, and I didn't like that. Just because you can play flag football, you can run around a field, catch a ball, and pull somebody's flag, does not mean you're better than so-and-so, or does not mean you're better than me. And I never view anybody that way. I've never viewed anybody that way. I played a few sports, but I could just never really got into it. I didn't really have an interest in it. I just wanted to stay at home, play my games, and get involved with music. Jumping ahead of my post-sports days, I guess, was me joining piano. And that was the best thing I ever did for myself. I joined piano and I found an outlet on life. That was my output. I could express myself in other ways that I had never expressed myself before. I could read, I could listen to music, I could play outside, I could do this, I could watch TV, I could do that. But once I sit down at a piano, to this day, I've been playing for 13 or 14 years now, I can sit down at a piano and I feel like everything is just completely gone. I have no problems in life. I can just sit and play, regardless if it's a simple scale or if it's a complex scale. I just sit down and everything goes away. You really get Lennon when you hear me play piano. Middle school was my tough part. I had a crush on a boy. They had found out, and this person treated me a little bit differently, and that's not what I wanted, not the reaction that I wanted. They pushed me away. While I didn't really view them as a friend at the time, we eventually grew as friends later down the road. I think that they kind of saw that they maybe have overreacted a little bit and that I'm not a bad person because I am gay. We became good friends the rest of our high school and middle school careers. Middle school was my toughest year. Being gay and all, I had come to terms with myself. I had realized that I am different and I'm proud of it, but I still wasn't 100% sure why I was different. I knew that there was something different about me. I knew that I liked boys, but I didn't find that to be very different about me. I'm just Lennon. I'm no different than the person sitting next to me taking this English test. I'm no better than the person behind me taking my math test. Taking this math test, not my math test. But one day, I'm 99% sure, it was December 23rd, one of the best Christmas gifts I've ever received. The day before, my brother and I were listening to music. We were playing on our phones. I was picking songs, we were texting, talking, visiting, and my mom had told us to do a chore before we had done anything else, and we didn't listen. Typical. So that night she took our phones away, and When we were younger, she used to read through our text messages. I'm kind of glad she did, because the night that my brother and I were listening to music, I was texting one of my good friends, or actually all my friends, and I was coming out to them. That was my way. I had told myself I'm gonna do it. I came out to them as bisexual. And a lot of them were like, oh, we knew it anyways. We still love you. It was no big deal. Well, that night, my mom had taken our phones, and apparently she had read through our text messages. And the following day, I was downstairs in the music room playing piano, and she came down, and my dad was sitting across from me, and she said, Lennon, I want to talk to you about something. I was reading your text messages the other night, and I found something. And my heart sunk. I broke into cold sweats. I was so nervous. I remembered what it was, and I didn't know what was going to happen next. I went blank. And I remember just looking down and staring at the piano, and my mom goes, it's okay. We still love you. We knew since you were younger. While my heart still sunk into my stomach, I was still speechless. I was still breaking into cold sweats. They both said, we still love you. You're our son. There's nothing we can do to change that, and we would never change that. And we love you very much. We all knew since you were younger. And I guess wearing high heels around the house probably was a big giveaway. After that, I was very relieved. I felt another huge relief come off of my shoulders. Now, it was, how am I going to tell the brothers? I have 2 younger brothers, and the one is 3 years younger than me, and the other one is about 9 years younger than me. But it was sometime after that. I came out to my middle brother. My mom's like, you should maybe tell him, and he should hear it from you rather than his friend. So she called him out, and again, I began breaking into a cold sweat. I started shaking. Mom sat him down in the living room, and she's like, Lennon has something to tell you. And he goes, okay. And she kind of nods her head at me. And I remember just taking a deep breath. I was shaking. I had cold sweats. And I just turned to him and I said, I'm gay. And he goes, okay, that's what you called me out here for? He's like, you're still my brother. I still love you. I don't care if you're gay, whatever. I took another deep breath, big sigh of relief. Now it was for my younger brother. He was still really young at the time and he wouldn't quite understand it. We told him shortly after I moved. I was talking to my mom on FaceTime and she's like, well, I think your brother should probably know because you moved away. You might be getting in a relationship soon. You never know. And he should maybe know ahead of time. And I said, yeah, that's fine. She's like, do you want to tell him or do you want me to tell him? I said, it doesn't matter, because at this point, I was extremely comfortable with myself. I had felt love and support from everybody. So my mom told him, and he had the same reaction as my other brother did. And she said he responded with, you should be able to marry who you want and who you love. And that was another big relief, because I've had that view my entire life. I had the love and support I needed from my friends and family, and that's what got me through middle school. Moving on to high school, things got much easier. We had a foreign exchange student move from Sweden to study abroad here for a year, and it happens to be that she was also a lesbian. I had never had a friend who was gay, but being that she was lesbian, we connected on a level that I had never connected with anybody else before. She's still one of my best friends I've ever had. I can talk to her about anything because she can relate. My senior year was by far my favorite year of high school. And I thank her so much, because if it weren't for her, I probably would not have been as happy and as motivated as I was during my high school career. She made things so much easier for me. And she made me come to terms even more with myself. As an openly gay person, I just flourished my senior year, and I'm so thankful for it. My senior year, I came to terms with myself. I was comfortable with saying, yes, I'm gay. I could look at myself in the mirror and go, yes, I am gay, and I'm proud of it. I've always been outgoing, but I found different outlets. For example, music. I was involved with all kinds of different things. My friend is what kept me very active. We were never doing nothing. And I came to realize that I'm happy with myself. I can smile at myself, and I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of my brothers. I'm proud of my mom and dad. I'm proud of my aunt and my grandmas for everything they have done and said for me. After I graduated high school, I decided to pursue my music career, and I went to school for music production, and I graduated on August 5th, 2016 with a Bachelor of Science degree in music production from the college I have dreamed of going to since I was in 8th or ninth grade. And it was because of me coming to terms with myself, not letting that little barrier hold me back from pursuing my life, my career, my dream, that I did this. I pushed myself to boundaries that I never thought I could do. I worked so hard. I met so many amazing people that I continued to learn about me, the gay community, and the world as a whole. I knew I could do it because I had the support of my friends and my family. And I still to this day have the support from my friends and my family saying that you're going to do big things. And I can guarantee you that I will do big things. I'm going to continue to be persistent and push hard for what I believe in, what I believe is right, and what I dream of. I will not stop until I achieve my goals and my dreams. I came to terms with myself many, many years ago. Friends and family had known about me being gay prior to a couple months ago when I actually came out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. When I came out on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, it was exhilarating. I felt a big pressure come off of me. That was my final step in my coming out process because I like to share my life on social media, and that was the one thing that I couldn't share prior to me coming out, was I couldn't share my life. I just felt that was a barrier for me. If you have a barrier that you can't cross, take a deep breath. Everything is going to work out. I'm going to be happier. I'm going to move on. I promise you that things will get better. Now I know that everybody's coming out experience isn't as easy as mine was. I shared this story with you today because I believe in you. We are all strong. We're all here to fight for what's right. And we all need to be able to live our lives without barriers, without being able to hold ourselves back. You can do it. It does get easier. Know that you do have the support behind you to be whoever you want to be, to do whatever you want to do. You just have to set your mind to it. This was my coming out story, and I thank you very much for listening.